Hey everyone, Pistol P here. It has been a very long time. I know that because I actually just recorded this video and realized that I forgot to share my screen. So I'm going to start over. I'm just a little bit rusty. Life has been super busy. I've also been spending more time in the Discord. But my intention today is to break down what I was tracking for the market, specifically SPY, in the month of April. And it was I have to say, I really had insane accuracy, so much so that my portfolio is up over 470% for the month of April, which actually just it's insane. And there's a couple different things that I've changed in my trading. There have been many times in this trading journey where I was reading the charts a specific way, and then I would let other folks on social media influence me and either scare me into before I even jumped into a position, or scared me enough when I was in a position to actually close out, only to find that I was right and I missed out on insane gains. So, what I did differently this month was I stuck to my conviction. I stuck to it and it worked out. And I think a lot of folks in the Discord hopefully are doing quite well. But again, what I wanted to do today was just to show you what I was tracking on SPY so that maybe this equips you to start looking at charts the same way that I do. As a reminder, I approach every chart thinking four things. There's four reasons why the market moves. Reason number one is to hunt liquidity. Number two is to generate liquidity. Number three is to rebalance to inefficiencies. And number four is to rebalance to equilibrium. What that last one means is if you're using Fibonacci retracements, after a move, maybe you take out buy side liquidity, you're going to retrace most likely back down to at least the 0.5. More often than not, ends up being like the 0.7 or 7, somewhere in the golden pocket before continuing the move. So what I'll show you is that if we jump into SPY, we're actually going to jump into the 6-month chart. I don't usually recommend, I don't always look at the 6-month chart. I do recommend, however, starting on the larger time frame. So I'll look at like the 3-month if it makes sense. I'll look at the monthly, the weekly, the daily, 4-hour, hourly. That's how I approach every chart to formulate a bias. And you're going to hear other traders say, oh, you should go into each trading day without a bias. I don't think I agree with that, and I'll tell you why. I think it's important to, in order for you to formulate a trading plan, to have some sort of idea of what you're expecting the market to do. From there, you can time your entries and you can time your exits. However, it's important to be able to pivot and not stick to your bias if it's not playing out. So I think you should start every day with a bias and with a plan, but be able to change that plan if it's not panning out for you. Or be smart enough to maybe not take a trade and just say, you know what, it's not doing what I thought it was going to do. I'm going to take the day off and I'm going to come back tomorrow. That's totally fine. So, all right, with that being said, if you like my content, if you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you want to see. I'll be able to produce more videos hopefully soon. Also, right now the Discord is closed and it's private. I've just been too busy and I didn't want it to get huge. Feel free to DM me on X if you are interested in joining. We can have a conversation and we can see if it makes sense for you to join. So with that being said, let's jump into the charts. I'm going to not forget to share my screen this time. So first I'm going to show you the Discord, right? And just to show you that I did call out this move on April 16th to the Discord. I wrote them a long message and I said exactly what I thought was going to happen and why, right? So that being said, let's actually jump into the chart. So here we see the 6-month chart. Again, I don't always start on the 6-month, but just wanted to show you that after this past insane year, we built the 6-month bullish fair value gap and we finally came down to test it. Great. Let's drill down a little bit further and we can see there is liquidity here that we grabbed. Let's look at the monthly. You can see there's an order block here. There's also down here, we have a breaker. I think we'll visit those maybe later. And so, okay, let's look at the weekly now and just call out some liquidity levels, right? So we had sell side liquidity here. That was the first level during this push down that I was watching because it was also at the top of the 6-month fair value gap, right? And then we have sell side liquidity here as well. And that's the one we ended up taking out. Obviously, we took out both, but we ended up really grabbing the lower liquidity there. Okay, so then once we grabbed that liquidity, why do we grab the liquidity, right? It grabs the liquidity because it wants to go in the other direction, but it needs the powder to do so. It needs the juice. So we grab this liquidity, right? Had a big push up. And let's kind of look now to see if we draw fibs from the top to the bottom, what that gives us, right? Okay, so actually, before we even do that, you grab liquidity, right? So that's one reason why the market moves. Now, what do we have to do? We either have to go hunt liquidity again or generate liquidity, or we need to rebalance. So, what I believe this move that we're experiencing now is a little bit of some rebalancing. However, again, let's draw from the top to the bottom. What you can notice is after taking out that sell side level, it kept coming up and rejecting this 0.5. This 0.5 level is what would be considered, because we drew the retracement from the top to the bottom. Anything 0.5 and above is actually the discount range for bears. And so every time we came up to this 0.5 level, bears showed up. Boom, again. So here is where I said, yeah, okay. I think we need more liquidity. I think it wants this imbalance and maybe this weekly fair value gap, but it doesn't have what it needs in order to do that. So what happened? We have this sell side level that was generated around 509. And so I said, I think we need to grab that liquidity. And you can see it's even in my post on X. I said, I think we need to grab that liquidity around 509. Boom. Grabbed it. Now look. Now we're pushing up. Now we saw a nice push up. We grabbed call. We played puts down on the way down here. Then once we came to this level, we grabbed calls. And now that we're at this imbalance, I'm going to start scaling out. But what I will tell you is that I personally am targeting this weekly fair value gap. It might not get past this golden pocket, and that's okay. I'm up a nice amount. I'm going to keep scaling out at each of these levels. However, what I like here is that there's buy side liquidity here. So again, I'm probably not going to play it up to this level. I'm probably going to scale out a most around this golden pocket, maybe save some runners for this 0.707, but then I'm going to start looking for puts. I'm going to start looking to go short, but I want to see how we react to each level. I do think we can get up to this 576 level, even possibly 582-ish, but first really want to see us tap here around 570. So that's kind of just like a little glimpse into what I'm expecting moving forward. I did forget to mention, if you look at the monthly, we are on pace to create a monthly imbalance as well. So just something we need to keep pushing, but just something to keep in mind as we look to where we are now, right? So that's why I want to see us keep pushing up, fill this imbalance, and see if we can make it back up to these levels. So if we can't do that, there's a few days left in April. I'm going to be really, really bearish. I'm already getting pretty bearish. And that's why I'm going to probably go hard at puts up here. But I will keep it tight. If it looks like it's going to blow past this weekly fair value gap, then I'll cut and reevaluate. But just wanted you to have a basic understanding of how I read charts. So again, I was tracking that it wanted to make it back up to this imbalance, but it didn't have what it needed. It needed to grab more liquidity. So it came back down here, grabbed the liquidity, and now pushed up. So it's important to really understand what the market's doing and where you think it's going to head. Hopefully this video helps you do that in the future. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, let me know if there's anything that you would like to see. I'm here to help you guys and girls, and let me know what you need. But thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, DM me on X if you want to get into the Discord. But I really hope to see you all make a lot of money soon. Thank you.